Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Rant. It's Greg here again on the channel with Toby, and today we're going to be talking about The Rings of Power, episode 4. Great. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about the fourth episode of The Rings of Power. It's called
Yep.
The Great Wave.
Yeah. That's not one of those. That's that's the thing that splashes.
Yes,
It's not
a
like it's not like Isildur
tsunami.
is kind of doing this on the beach. Bye, Dad.
Mm.
It is a tsunami.
Well, to summarize, we've obviously reviewed the first three episodes,
Yeah.
and we haven't had glowing reports, have we? Really?
No, no.
Um, and I hate to say it, it's still on a sort of very steady line at the moment for me. It's not moving at a good enough pace. There was a little bit more in this one, a little
I
bit
think I
more.
preferred this to the last episode.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. There was a
Just
bit more
about.
in this.
Yeah, it was a little
I've
bit more
only,
political. I quite liked it. In fact, it was a bit more political.
yeah, a little bit more of that. Yeah, and
Mm.
I've only seen this once, so I was trying. It's trying to remember all the bits, isn't it? And what's been going on with it. But um, I quite like the dwarven stuff that they have in
Mm.
it.
Mm.
That's not been too bad.
Mm.
Um, the stuff with Galadriel is it's so
It's
hit and
flabbergasting,
miss.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's so hit and miss. She's not portraying it brilliantly.
No.
Um, they're not great at doing action scenes either, are they? Just
Well, you'd hope they would be, because this
there's a
is.
bit there's a bit. So she basically um tries to sort of coerce them, doesn't she, into helping her, save the and she gets into a bit of an argument with the queen and then gets thrown in jail.
Yeah, she shouts at her about her dad.
Yeah.
The stupidest. I mean, this is a woman, Queen Regent Muriel's.
Hmm.
She's leading, and then suddenly this elf who's got no authority
Yeah.
whatsoever turns around and says, "Your dad is in charge, not you."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, I mean,
Yeah.
what is that going to do for her
She knows.
situation?
She really knows how to ingratiate herself to
Yeah,
the people, doesn't she?
she keeps
Um.
yeah she keeps bumping. She keeps ending up with Halbrand, and they both keep
Yeah.
saying to each other, "Well, you're a bit of a prat, aren't you? And you're a bit of a
Yeah.
prat, aren't you?"
Yeah.
Because they're both
Yeah.
in the you told me not to do that. Well, then you went and did it, and then you went
Yeah.
and did it, and it's like, oh my, prats, aren't they? Basically.
It's really daft,
Oh
isn't it?
God, I know.
And and yet she's then believed at the end and given a bloody army. It's like,
Yeah,
uh,
that was very strange.
yes,
I think that there's a bit of a connection
yeah,
when Galadriel scales this tower. I think she's gone
that's
on
right.
the outside, hasn't she? And
Mm.
she
Well, that
climbs in
bit,
through
the
the
bit
window.
before that, when she pushes those guards into
Oh
a
yeah,
cell and locks the cell. I
that
was
was the
like,
stupidest bit.
holy,
I
that
know.
was, and
It was
to be
like they
honest,
cut it, didn't
they
they? So you
didn't
didn't
even
actually see
show
it,
it.
did it? No,
They didn't even
exactly.
show it, did they? Because they were
I
like,
know.
this is going to be crap. Let's just get, and then she's closing the door on five men or something. And it's like, what the hell? Did they not bother to stand
Yeah.
up to her?
And Halbrand's in the cell next to them,
Yeah.
and what's the guy with the beard? He looks great, by the way. The guy with the beard. I can't remember which character it
They
is.
went to town on his outfit, didn't they?
They did. It looks great. And in any case, he's standing there, and Halbrand saying he's just about to draw his sword. He said, "I wouldn't if I was you."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, like she's got a sword, and you haven't. No, it's the other way around. But it
Yeah.
was so. It was. Yeah, that was pathetic. And then she scales the tower,
Then she
jumps
scales the
up
tower.
in the
That's
windows,
right. Smashes through
and
this ancient
yeah,
window that's probably, yeah,
yeah, 10,000 years old.
10,000 years old. Yeah.
And then, of course, Muriel is waiting there for her, isn't she? Standing
Yeah.
next to her
Yeah.
father who's in the bed. And then Galadriel's like, how did you know I was going to come here? Or something like this, you know? And then she says something
Because it's
stupid
totally
like,
predictable.
yeah, you are totally
When you
predictable.
said to me, my dad is the one that's got the power, I thought you're going to come and talk to him, aren't you? Try and
Yeah.
get around me. But then they
Yeah.
become kind of pally, don't they? You know, in that
They
instant,
do. Yeah, there's a bit of a
suddenly it's
connection.
like, yeah, and they go and touch one of the Palantirs, and they and foresee this doom of Numenor.
Yeah. Now, see, for me, this was the best bit in the show. This bit
Right.
where they touched the Palom, whatever the Palom
Yeah.
ball,
I like the
and
effect of what they did when she touched it, and that's
yeah,
when shardy
yeah,
sort of things came out of it. I thought that was quite a nice little touch. Yeah.
yeah. That was like it was kind of penetrating her mind with these shards,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And you
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
these visions. I just like the
Mm.
way I've always liked those globes and the way they take the cloth off them. They think they're quite
Yes.
theatrical, aren't they, with how they
They
do it?
look quite cool, don't they? As
They
well.
do.
Whoever's sort of made them, they look. It does, and it looked like one of the ones out of Lord
Yeah,
of the Rings, the original
yeah,
Lord of
it
the
did.
Rings,
Probably
when you
not
saw
quite as good.
Saruman
It
with
didn't
them.
quite look as good, did it? It didn't quite
No.
swirl around inside like it did.
Mm.
But they connect, and then Muriel then she banishes her anyway, doesn't she? So there's
Yes.
you know there's but
So we think. So we
yeah,
think. But then
but then
it
there's
was a
an
bit.
intervention.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a bit odd, that bit. But sometimes I sometimes feel like there isn't the logical reasoning behind things. You know, it all seems a bit. We've got to follow some sort of narrative, and we're just going to put in how we want it to go without actually
Yeah,
having a logical approach to things. And you wouldn't, the way that Galadriel had acted when she first came there. She was argumentative. She was going against them all the time, and they wouldn't. You wouldn't want to support someone like that. You wouldn't
no,
want to sort of be,
she's volatile. She's
yeah,
rude.
yeah, attacked people. She
Yeah,
attacked the guards, and
yeah,
not a trustworthy sort of character to be with. And her only associate that she was with had beaten the crap out of a load of guys, a load of the gut,
yeah,
the blacksmith guys.
yeah,
You would be thinking this, right? Yeah, definitely sling your hook, and then we'll go to help Middle Earth, not with this woman. She's not someone we can trust or want to be with.
yeah,
Did you know what I mean? They can still do
yeah.
it. They just
And
don't have to take her with them.
Ellen deals in it a little bit, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
standing around,
yeah.
not much to say.
Not got much to do.
No,
Not,
no. It's a shame, really. He's quite a good character, but he's kind
the
of made
actor's
weak.
quite good.
Yeah, the actor's quite good, but he's made weak a bit by the fact that he's got very little purpose at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah,
You know,
he
so
has.
but that's unfortunate. But we do get to meet this strange new Adar character, don't we?
Yes, yeah.
Because we saw him emerge at the end of the last episode, and then he's now the father of the orcs, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an elf, isn't he? That's kind of gone bad.
He's hanging around with these orcs. You think the elf would have a bit more brains and just dig tunnels rather than ditches, wouldn't you? Because we had this discussion last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
There been you could kind of almost kind of accept that orcs might be stupid enough to build ditches where they have to put all this material over the top. I don't know where they've got these canopies from, and just dig a tunnel. Surely that would be a lot easier.
Well, it looked like when he was in that village originally, and the elf went down the village, and that was tunnels, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they'd done it through tunnels. But then the next episode, they were building a massive fucking trench right up to a huge tree. Like we said before, and it was weird. But it was also, I was also thinking, well, how did the elves who were patrolling this area never see any of this bloody happening?
There's
that
a lot of devastation. Yeah, there's a lot of devastation. Months.
Exactly. Now I know they captured some of them, hadn't they? But
yeah,
that it's not just things like that. It just doesn't kind of tie up, does it? It doesn't feel like it ties up properly. It doesn't feel like it's thought through. You see that in some shows where 1 minute they're in Middle Earth. Then the next minute they're in Numenor, which is hundreds of miles away. Then they're over here, and there's no sort of basis
connecting glue, is there?
Yeah, how does that actually work? That doesn't work in reality,
know.
They've done that a lot in sort of this.
Yeah, I think, and with this as well, you drill down. There's not a lot of substance in the close scenes either. So Arondir and Adar, both new characters, they have this weird conversation. It's completely escaped my mind what they talked about, because I think it was just a crap,
It was.
And Arondir,
he was, you don't know the truth or something, and it was pretty rubbish, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's a conversation about nothing really, because these characters don't really exist in the timeline of Lord of the Rings.
And they don't explain anything. They don't seem to give any, exactly that. We don't know what the purpose of this is. It's just to get to a point of satisfying some of the Tolkien stuff, and like you say, they don't know. They just it's like a filler episode again. It's not got a lot to it. The other thing,
the mithril thing was quite good, I thought, but
the mithril thing was quite good. But the thing that slightly confused me with the dwarf side of things, Elrond has been with the dwarves for a few days, okay, but hang on, he looked out the window. No, I've got confused with the timeline there, because he looked out the window and they were building a massive fucking tower.
Yes, the
tower later.
I know. I was trying to figure that out. I was like, oh, so
had he then maybe gone back to the dwarves? I must have missed a little.
It was a bit confusing. I'll give you that.
Because it was like, I was slightly suddenly there's a massive. They built a whole huge bloody thing,
the tower's halfway up where they've got to put the forge at the top.
So I was like, what is the timeline here? Is it? They've done that in 2 weeks.
Squeeze the mithril in, haven't they? They've got to. Yeah. They've got to, because you can see Elrond is he's obviously taken by the mithril, as you would be, this precious material.
Yeah.
And so he's obviously got thinking, in his mind, right, this could be good for back home. What's his name?
Maybe
the master smith, Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
He can he'll be able to use that, no doubt, and I think he does. He transforms it into all sorts of wonderful things. So there's a connection here, and I'm wondering how that's going to play out. And I suspect that Elrond is going to have a issue with the Durin. Yeah, I suspect that because he says you mustn't tell anybody, and I think that Elrond's already thinking, oh no, this could be very useful. So we'll see how there's a bit of friction. I think is going to exist between that.
I don't know if he was trying to sort of, he was trying to say, oh, your friendship's more important and that kind of thing. But yes, this could be the sort of thing that could test it, couldn't it?
Yeah,
definitely.
I think so. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because if we've had 4 episodes now, if we look, if we look across it, the new characters that they've created. So Arian, the daughter of Elendil, and Halbrand, and Adar and Arondir, they're all pretty shallow. There doesn't feel like there's a lot to those characters.
There's not a lot to them, is there?
No. It just feels like they've got one function. The daughter is going to go to university and be a builder, but she's not really adding anything to it. I don't feel like these new characters, they don't if you're gonna have that presence.
There must have been some purpose or in thought in their mind. We need a character for this. We need a character for this role, for reasoning. And it's so unclear, isn't it? What any of the reasoning is. There's no real explanation of much, is there?
No.
It's all very basic plot line that's just it's so weird, isn't it? It just feels like it's trundling along at an even pace. We've had over 4 hours, because the episodes are just over an hour, aren't they? So we've had over 4 hours, 4.5 hours of viewing. I mean, if you think about it, right, that would be the Fellowship of the Ring and probably half of the Two Towers. I mean, loads had happened in that time. Loads was going on.
I think,
I
think
like
you need to ask yourself,
Jesus,
what are your expectations then, Greg? Because
they're
saying 5 seasons, 6 episodes in each season.
Yeah,
so that's 30 episodes of.
I know, but there's.
I mean, they're going to need to slow it down, aren't they? What is it going to be? Cinematic? Is it going to be TV?
Slow it down.
I know. This is the thing. I mean,
you can't go any slower.
How much story do they have? That's the thing. That's why it's the way it is, because I don't think they've been able to weave in the story that they wanted to do. I think that maybe they were too fearful of putting too much politics into it. I
don't need politics. I think we just need some actual character.
Well, they need
development. Some actual interest in the characters. There's not a lot we know about them. There's really.
I think they need to look at Game of Thrones. I think they need to look at how the House of the Dragon, how that's doing. There's nothing wrong with looking at that series and being inspired by it, but they need to inject the politics, brings characters together, and they argue and they talk and they develop. That's what I'm talking about.
I agree. I totally agree.
That's what we need with this.
We need more of that. Definitely. It's like I say, it's there's not a lot going on, and everything that is happening is drawn out into a very slow process.
Yeah. We keep getting little tempting bits of things, like with Theo, he's got a sword, isn't he?
Yeah.
Theo, he's got the sword, and
I think so. That's the son, isn't it?
Yeah, the son. He's got this hilt.
Yeah.
It seems to grow and then gets it again, and it's not grown.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's permanent growth or whether it's not. And then it's got the map of Mordor, isn't it, on it, and the mountains, and he stabs himself and feeds it with blood, doesn't he? So he's got the mark on his arm. And then there was another interesting bit where one of the landlord of the pub grabs Theo. You see, there are little bits in there. If you
but it's just like the snippet of nothingness, isn't it? Really? I mean, what's going to come of that? I mean, it's just a guy saying about Sauron. There could have been Sauron.
Morgoth and all that type, because these people were the backers of Morgoth. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. The ancestors. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so there's an undercurrent. Maybe they have a dark side, if you like, to them. So.
That whole region is going to become Mordor, isn't it?
Yeah,
some pretty major crap is going to happen to it, isn't it?
No kidding. Yeah. So that's kind of how I feel about it at the moment. I think about the episode, and I like a little thing with Theo and the hilt and the sword, and then this Waldreg, kind of grabbing him, and I think, oh, that's quite cool. I like that. And then there's a bit where I look at the orcs and I think they look pretty good as well. What
the orcs don't look too bad. I don't think the orcs look too bad. But
no, and then the mithril bits I'm fascinated by. But then there's so much other padding, and I have to say, the padding is often Galadriel, isn't it? It's like,
oh God, yeah.
I think that's the problem. I think,
and it's just this inconsistency with storyline and logic. That annoys me. The way she's acted and behaved, you wouldn't trust her. You wouldn't want to be with her. You and if you did take her with you, you'd have her in chains, wouldn't you? You wouldn't trust her at all. The other thing that really made me laugh was all those people left their villages and they forgot to take any food with them. And it was like,
so stupid, isn't it?
But that to me is where their writing is so bad, is because they then have to decide, right, we've got to get the son to go back to the village to have a bit of a fallout or fight with the orcs or this sort of thing. How can we do that? Oh yeah, we didn't take any food with us.
Yeah, exactly.
We left, we left our homes to go somewhere else, and we thought, oh, let's not pack anything up and take it with us. It's that sort of thing I think is, what the hell, it's
that's the writers.
It could have come up with a better
short little snippets of story just to function as a to satisfy short-term gains.
Yes,
there's
exactly.
Nothing. When you do stuff in a show like this, everything should have a reason.
Exactly.
Everything should be part of.
It should feel like it makes some sense. That's what I'm trying to say. It should make some sense. And I think that's why I get a bit frustrated with this, because I'm just thinking, the whole logic of things. Halbrand saying to her, "Don't upset them. I want to live here," and then the next minute he's kicking the crap out of 5 people. Do you know what I mean? He's stealing from people, then he's beating them up, and it's like, well, hang on, I thought you wanted to live here. Now we know he's not. He's probably Sauron, and he's not going to be a nice guy anyway. But
no,
it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. And
the guy that they've got to play him is good. I like Charlie Vickers. I think probably he's too nice. He's too nice. He's nice. I think they needed a more
someone
subtle...
that you felt a bit dubious about. Someone you felt a bit dubious about. He could be good. He could be bad.
Yeah.
And it's all a bit nothingy, isn't it? This is the problem.
It's too down the middle. They're too on the fence. They should have had some more complex storylines for the characters they've made up, but they're not. They're just sort of superficial. You see so much writing these days. There's so many other shows where the writing's just very shallow. And
the thing is, you're talking about Tolkien. Tolkien wrote so much stuff about these worlds, so much about the history, so much about these things. And they could have just, really thought about it in much more detail. It's a real letdown. I mean, I'm starting to think, what have they spent all the money on? And the only thing I can really see is it's the sets and the visual effects, because maybe they spent so much, they got completely conned by some special effects studio.
I don't know.
Because they didn't have much money left for good writers, did they? Really? That was
and they don't have any really big billing actors either in the show. No one that really stands out of note. So they're not paying a huge amount. Morphy Clark was probably just really glad to be offered the role. She hasn't had any massive. She, as far as I know, I'm not a big fan of hers. I don't think she's had.
She has no expression, does she? She has no way of emoting, giving it real expression. It's played all the same, isn't it? And it's a real. She's been painful. Yeah, it's a shame because I like, you can see them up there. Sorry, up there. I got the old Lord of the Rings on my shelf. I like. I enjoy watching them. It's remained true. And also in this episode, they didn't have any Harfoots, which probably upset you because I know you've been enjoying the Harfoots. There wasn't any of that sort of stuff. There wasn't any of that follow on. They were going on that journey, and now we've forgotten about them.
I want to know more about this Grey Wizard as well.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this?
Yeah,
I mean, there was slightly more interesting. Yeah, there was definitely some things. There's some things in there which I'm thinking, that could be good. That'd be good. Oh, it's not good. I think that's just generally how we should look at this episode.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Again, it's a bit of a filler episode, isn't it? I don't get excited by it. The old boredom meter is unfortunately cranking up again.
Well, we're just waiting for an episode of House of the Dragon, aren't we? Really, to sort of.
We are. Yeah. I think that's the thing, isn't it? You naturally, when you feel excited to see it, or that's always just the sign, isn't it? If you're not bored, you're excited to see, the next episode. It's always that feeling. It feels like it's an hour long. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you watch a House of the Dragons, you feel like it's 20 minutes, and you want to see, oh, damn it, I want another episode. It's that excitement factor that it's just missing. It's totally,
it really is.
It's a bit heartless, you know. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, we couldn't say more positive things about it, people.
Yes. Yeah, we want to. We want to. We want to be positive.
We want this to be good.
Absolutely. You know, it's one of those great, you know, British things that we've got.
Institutions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much for watching tonight. We've even though we've moaned a little bit, we still enjoy talking about these things.
Yeah, we do.
If you can subscribe, that'd be great. We'd love some more subscribers. If you like the video, press the like button. And if you want to comment, you know, we'd like to hear your views. If you feel completely different and you're really enjoying it, you know, let us know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.